Speech off.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm finally back. I got sick again. I barely recovered from COVID when I got RSV. There's a kind of a small epidemic in Los Angeles, and a lot of the babies are getting it, including the twins. So yeah, it's been fun. I spent this entire week, with a fever of 102, so yeah. I haven't felt much like making videos, but today is the first day where I feel I could maybe make one without wheezing or becoming breathless, which, yeah, RSV is a respiratory thing. So I thought I would do a quick review for Across the Ages by Gabrielle Meyer. I actually finished this book in November, but I wanted to wait until more people read it because my reviews for the series tend to be pretty spoilery. So I kind of wanted to be able to talk about it freely, and so, you know, other people can read it, can watch this as well, once they've read it. So, yeah, let's just get started. Wow, I'm not doing very well at this, talking without needing to catch my breath. That's why I picked a review, because it's a short video. Anyway, I gave this book 5 stars. I would say that When the Day Comes and, what's the third one called? The one about the witch trials? In This Moment's the second one. Yeah, the third one I liked after the first one. So as far as ranking the books, it would be 1, 3, 4, 2 for me. In This Moment was probably my least favorite of the 4 so far. For a Lifetime was number 3. I loved it. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's just do this. I still give this one 5 stars, though, even though it is closer to the bottom of my favorites. But so in this book, we have Caroline. She has 2 timelines. I'll just read the description. Caroline holds a deep secret. Existing in 1727 and 1927 simultaneously, each night she goes to sleep in one life and wakes up in the other. Searching for answers to her unique existence, Caroline stumbles upon a letter from her mother that hints at her own experiences as a time crosser, sending Caroline on a quest to uncover the truth. In 1727, chasing the mysteries of her mother's past, Caroline disguises herself as a cabin boy and joins a ship sailing for the Bahamas, her mother's last known location. Amid treacherous waters, she crosses paths with Marcus Zale, a ruthless but handsome pirate, and finds herself caught in a web of secrets, deception, and unexpected alliances. Meanwhile, in 1927, St. Paul, Minnesota, Caroline grapples with her other life as a daughter of a renowned preacher. Her 2 older brothers have strayed from their upbringing into the corruption rampant during Prohibition, and Caroline struggles to protect her parents from the truth that could shatter her father's career. As her search for answers about her time crossing leads her to the dangerous speakeasies of St. Paul, Caroline enlists the help of police officer Louis Cager, a childhood friend. When her family's future is put at risk and loyalties are tested, Caroline is faced with a life-altering decision that could reshape her destiny. So yeah, those are her 2 timelines. We have 1727 and 1927. I have to admit, initially I wasn't really looking forward to this book. I'm not really into pirates or gangsters, but I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would, especially the pirates timeline. Marcus is a really great character. Yeah. So the book kind of starts out in 1727 where she finds a letter from her mother. Her mother left her with her grandfather and kind of took off. And so she wants to find her mother and get answers as to why she lives the way she does. Like, she finds out that her mother is a time crosser through the letter, and she kind of wants to know what's going on with that. That's what's sort of unique about this book, unlike the other books. In the other books, all of the women, like the main heroes, have a parent that was a time crosser and kind of could guide them, but Carolyn is just like clueless as to why she can live in two timelines, so she doesn't really know how it works. So that's what really makes this book really interesting, is that, like, you're kind of reading it and thinking she's getting closer and closer to her 25th birthday when she has to choose, and she doesn't even know she has a decision to make. And then her mother, she kind of just stopped living one of her lives, and she didn't know why. So Carolyn kind of has to figure that out. And yeah, that's what makes it really interesting, is that the reader knows something that Carolyn doesn't. And so you're kind of afraid for her to reach her next birthday. Like, what if she doesn't find out? That kind of thing. And you want her to find these relatives of hers before she has to make a decision. You know, or before her decision's made for her. So, yeah. So she basically runs away in 1727 and ends up on a boat that then gets captured by a pirate ship. And that's how she meets Marcus. And, you know, it's all about not being discovered to be a boy. And then in the other timeline, we're in Prohibition, which is really not a timeline that I've ever been that interested in. But it turned out to be really interesting. I didn't particularly like the police officer very much. I find the trope of, let's torment the girl because I like her, and just unacceptable. Like, I'm glad she didn't choose him. Like, I'm always afraid in every book that she's going to pick the guy that I hate. I don't think I hate him, but I highly dislike him. He's just too cocky, that police officer. But I don't know, he just wasn't the one. But anyway, he does help her, and she does confide her secrets to both of these guys. And she kind of has to, like, in the 1927 path, she also ends up on a search for her mother, which is interesting. And she's also, like, trying to figure out what like criminal activities her brothers are doing, and she's trying to, like, keep it away from her parents and stuff, which is wild. I thought I was gonna hate her dad from the 1900s, because a lot of times, like, mega church pastors are kind of jerks. But I don't think he ever was. Like, I actually think that he probably could have handled a lot more than Carolyn gave him credit for. She was, like, trying to protect him and stuff, protect his reputation and all that stuff. But I don't know, I never really saw him as this guy who would willingly, like, sacrifice his family for his reputation or anything like that. And he proved me right later, toward the end of the book. But yeah, it was an interesting read. And I don't know. I did prefer to be in the 1700s more than the 1900s, I'll say that. And I wasn't sorry when we weren't in that timeline so much. I didn't really get attached to anyone in that timeline at all, I think, is kind of what ended up being the biggest problem for me, I guess. There was just nobody that I cared about much that she would potentially lose. So that's why I rated it. Why, if I could rate it maybe like a 4.5, I would do that. Just because the stakes weren't as high, except that I was afraid that she would, like, end up on a path she didn't want because she didn't know that she had a choice. So, yeah. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I mean, I think the narrator did a really good job. Oh, yeah. We actually meet Hope and Grace in this one. In both timelines. I think we see Grace, yeah, in the 1700s, and then, or whatever. I always confuse them. But we actually see them in both timelines, and it's pretty wild that they share a kid. I mean, what? Like, their daughter has both of them as parents in different timelines, which is weird. And yeah, and then I guess the next book is going to be about Lydia's sister. Lydia's the daughter that they share, but Lydia's sister Catherine is in the next book. And I thought it was kind of cool that she makes kind of a little cameo as a kid in this book. And we actually see her sort of slip up and say, "I've been to Paris," in front of Caroline and her mom. I forget whoever her mom is. Grace, I think, or Hope. I don't know. I always confuse them, like I said. But yeah, like, her mom didn't, like, angrily correct her. She was just like, "Yeah, you're right, you did go to Paris." But it was kind of funny to see, like, children just talk about time crossing. I really hope that we get more, like, little glimpses into time crossing children and, like, what it's like just being around them and hearing them talk about, like, their time. Because I don't know, I almost feel like they're too old in the books. It'd be so interesting to hear about that from a kid's perspective, and just, like, just the conversations you'd hear about. I don't know. Like, if this kid was from the 1800s and she's talking about airplanes. I don't know. I just love the idea of a time-crossing kid, and I think we need one. And we kind of got a glimpse of it, so I thought it was cool. So, yeah. I think that's it, honestly, as far as things that stood out to me in this book. I can't wait until book 5. Honestly, I was more interested in that one when I saw the description on Facebook than I was in this one, but it surprised me how much I enjoyed it. I didn't think I would like it as much. I never really been into the Prohibition time period. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all I have for now. I had planned on doing a December mid-month wrap-up, but we're so close to the end of the month that I'm just going to have to do a really long wrap-up when I have more stamina to talk. In the meantime, I do have a short What I Added to Goodreads coming up. Maybe I'll post it. Maybe I'll wait till the end of the month. I'm not sure. But I'm losing steam, so I'm going to post this and call it a night. Please like, comment, and subscribe. That'll make my Christmas. And I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.
Stop recording video.